The fight starts off with Mark and Conquest having a test of raw physical strength, and we all know, of course, Conquest is the victor, slamming Mark down into a Dragon Ball Z type crater. I'm talking worse than the one that they packed my man's Yamcha in. Then Conquest looks at Mark and goes, "Probably think I'm here to help you in your world, but nah, I don't care about none of that. I just like to fight. They told me there was a free fate set up. Well, here I am." Like, what? What you're telling me is you're destroying my home for fun? Nah, this guy's crazy. So Mark has enough and socks him right in the jaw and tackles him through multiple buildings, and somehow he's the only one that can't get out of the rubble. Conquest pulls him out of the rubble and gets hit with a double fist pound to the head. And ever since Mark learned that the Viltrumite's weakness is in their ears with their equilibrium, he's just been spamming this move against every Viltrumite he's been against. So Conquest just sounds like a little kid enjoying this fight. Like, look at this.
Very good.
So Mark tells Conquest he's just warming up, got my boy feeling like he's Goku, not even fighting at full strength, just testing his opponent's abilities. He goes ahead and unleashes a rapid barrage of attacks, which end up taking them both into space. And you gotta give Mark credit. He sees his opponent is basically a walking natural disaster, and he takes him to a place where they can't harm anyone at all. Props to my boy. That's quick thinking under pressure. I read the comics, and I personally think the Invincible War and the Conquest arcs are some of the best two in the whole comic. Don't attack me, that's just my opinion. If you read the comics, let me know down in the comment section what your favorite moment was. Alright, back to the fight. As they're both floating in space, taking a moment to look at each other, this man Conquest proceeds to blow a blood bubble and mold it into a heart and blow it to him. This got my man Mark perplexed. Like, buddy, weren't you just trying to murder me 5 seconds ago? This guy hits Mark with the bloodthirsty Gojo look and straight up tackles him back to Earth. Two are trading blows as they charge towards the planet, and Mark is getting a little too cocky, basically asking him, "Is this all you got?" And Conquest goes, "Of course not." Like, bruh, why did you even have to ask that? Speed blitzing Mark, bro one-shots him on live television. All the hoes gonna see that, my boy. Bruh, you messed up. So we cut to Debbie, all sad because she's watching her son get pieced up yet again. Last time she saw this, it left them both actually traumatized. Oliver, being a W brother, says it isn't too far from where he is and says he can help. And I feel bad for Debbie, man. She has to watch Mark get body on live TV, and then she gotta try and stop this superhuman alien. I don't even know what he is, bro. Or Grimace? I don't even know. But she agrees to let him go, giving him some tips like keep your distance, because if he grabs you, you're done. And this is like Iron Man telling Spider-Man, keep your distance and web him up. So back to Mark, and my boy over here coughing up blood, really thinking, damn, I really messed up. And this is when we see the blood start to vibrate, and the world beneath him starts to rumble. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? It's Conquest. Oh my God. Like, how is Mark not in pieces right now? Oliver finally reaches the city and witnesses all get straight leveled. And I like this scene a lot because it really puts into perspective how fast they really are. Like, when you read it for a single moment versus watching the scene, it makes all the more difference. And I need to know how Invincible feels pain. Every time he hits a building, he straight demolishes it. So is he doing 10 damage from a health bar of 1,000 or 10 from a bar of 100, and he's just popping constant armor plates every time he's in critical to stay in the fight? Cause ain't no way his insides are not destroyed. Mark crash lands on the ground, and can we just take a moment to appreciate the animation in such an amazing episode? Like, look at this. Mark tries to plead with Conquest, asking him to just stop and listen for a second, and Conquest ain't going for none of that and straight choke slams him onto the ground. Bro tried to hit him with the talk no jutsu. There's no way out of this one. You're done. And real quick, I just want to say, shout out Jeffrey Dean Morgan, man. He's an amazing actor. When I heard his voice in the last episode, I'm not gonna lie, I was one of those that was skeptical. But hearing him now, I got just what I wanted. Angry Negan from The Walking Dead. Like, bruh, listen to this.
For that chance to push back. So now, I gotta kill all of them. Just like I'm gonna kill you.
That's nothing but straight talent. I don't care what you say, go ahead, say it. Yes, I'm glazing. He's not trying to give Mark a chance to surrender because he's having the absolute time of his life. Seeing Mark's reaction to this, he tells him not to give up. He still has a chance, and he just needs a little motivation. When the villain starts talking to you mid-ass whooping, it's always disrespectful as hell, dog. And right after that, he tells Mark that he's gonna kill everyone right after him. My boy Oliver finally pulled up with a mean-ass uppercut of death. He got his own music and he starts rushing at Conquest at full speed, and then he gets straight bodied. We all know of getting knocked out of a transformation. Yes, Dragon Ball taught us that. But to break the fourth wall and cut someone's music completely off, that's a different kind of hit. That little bro bouncing like Mikey for Ninja Turtles. He asked Oliver his name because he likes to know who he's dismembering. Got bro moving like Stefan from the Vampire Diaries. Every time he killed someone without his humanity, he wrote their names on a hidden wall to relive the kill over and over again. And now I'm not gonna lie, I like this show. I don't care what anyone says. You know what? I'm gonna make a video on it too. I don't care. That's getting video as well. Everything getting a video nowadays. I don't care. Everything getting a video. Everything. Mark ain't having none of that and knocks Conquest away, telling Oliver to leave. But Oliver is really like an annoying little brother. So Mark does what we've all been wanting him to do. Yeets his annoying low ass to the side while Conquest clotheslines him away and slams him through buildings. Clotheslines him? Bro, really? What? Mark's tired of getting dragged around, so he locks in landing some good hits. That is, if you were a level 10 nobody, which Conquest here clearly isn't. We cut to Cecil panicking and yelling at Sinclair, saying we've got the strongest superhuman he's ever seen beating the strongest hero they have. But the process simply cannot be sped up because the alternate Marks have rock-like muscle tissue. Eve finally wakes up from her weak coma given to her by Omni Mark in the last episode. Oh my god, bro did her so dirty. Heading back to Conquest, dragging Mark around saying he wants to get to know his new toy. Mark gets body slammed and Conquest begins to talk to Mark, telling him he's starting to even wonder why they sent him there to beat and conquer the planet because it's just way too easy for him. Like, can you imagine going through everything you went through, almost dying over and over again, becoming the strongest only for someone to beat you worse than you've ever been beaten before, and then say you're like a toy? I would have been a villain that very second, I'm not gonna lie to you. To put salt on the wound, he tells him he met his father before, but now he's been executed, which we all know that he wasn't. Oliver swoops in with the double-leg drop bomb, helping Mark, calling Conquest old, and Conquest just straight up tells him,
I'm old, not weak, but thanks for coming back. I'm gonna split you in half and eat your heart. How's that sound?
Mark steps in front of Oliver, but Conquest raises his hand, and oh my god. I know this hand raise from anywhere. I'm Hispanic, so I know far too well what's gonna happen right here. He gets the backhand of doom through a building before absolutely mollywopping Oliver in the face. He spits out all his teeth and gets put in the Iron Man and Thanos position from the comics. Oh my god, look at this. As he's slowly pulling Oliver apart, he walks him through the process of how his body's gonna be ripped in half. And this is just tragic, man. Got a little kid crying and all, bro. You don't got no heart? Mark sees this and tackles him away, and since he saved Oliver, that just made him prime suspect number 1 again. Conquest rips him with a mean-ass right with the Infinity Gauntlet, and Mark Loki ate this, teeth intact and all, and socks him with a mean-ass right. And I love this episode so much. As a comic reader, seeing the individual pages and action panels being animated just does something to you on the inside, bro. It does something to your heart. Plus, they added extra scenes like this in the show, adding more intensity to the fight, showing how high level the battle is and exactly what it's doing to the city around them. Because in the comics, he just punches Mark and throws him away, and that's all you see in the few panels. Here we get Mark fighting back while Cecil saves Oliver, and you see the destruction in the background. Cecil gets called to the hospital where Adam Eve tells him that she wants to help Mark and she's their best chance because she's got powers that can literally change matter. And I'm not gonna lie, she ain't wrong if she actually used them smartly and not spam those same walls that got her knocked down in the first place. Going back to Mark, and my boy is skipping on water like stones and gets grabbed by the back of the head, and I already know what's gonna happen. I'm sick and tired of seeing this move because every time someone disrespects a Viltrumite, they get put in it and it's just dragged around the terrain, destroying everything with their own face. And this is another amazing example of the show adding scenes to add depth of a situation, because in the comics you see the path that Mark got dragged through in the back, but here we see it up close and personal. Mark is tired of this move and breaks out, punching him away, sending him crashing into a pink wall. Mark sees this and is hoping that his eyes aren't revealing to him the truth, because he knows if that pink wall is what he knows it is, Adam Eve is here. Before Conquest can attack her, Mark swoops in, telling her to go. Conquest is tired of being challenged by someone only to have Mark step in the way, so he karate chops his leg, breaking it like we used to break the pencils in school with our fingers. Don't lie, you tried it once, and if you didn't break it, you know it hurt like hell. Don't lie. Eve then makes an armor with the broken shards from the bubble Conquest broke, and we get our 1v1. We see Eve finally pull out a 1000 IQ move. She increased the air density. No more of that spam and wall BS. Now we're talking. She's making hammers left and right and starts hitting him with a whole bunch of combos. I haven't seen Eve use her powers like this since her backstory episode. Conquest has enough though and breaks her armor piece by piece before giving her the meanest right hook she's ever seen with that big ass gauntlet and straight pierces her stomach. And I don't even know if I can show this on YouTube, so I'm gonna have to blur this out. Mark is now crying, holding a dying Eve in his arms, crying out for Cecil, begging him for come help her. And man, bruh, He is going through it, man. You can't help but feel for him. As Eve dies, Conquest thanks Mark because they normally have all these set limitations on what to destroy and what not to destroy when conquering a planet. But Mark did something that pissed him off and allowed Conquest to be able to go all out and conquer the planet by any means necessary. Then we get by far one of my favorite panels in the entire comic. I'm not gonna lie, I have a top 3 and this is definitely fighting for the first place. Watch this, watch perfection.
I don't care how strong you are. I don't care how fast you are. I can see the future. You don't live to see tomorrow.
Conquest is impressed with the threat and welcomes the challenge. Mark builds up all his energy and charges towards Conquest, and both of them let out a battle cry, which results in both of them clashing their fists so hard the giant gauntlet shatters and Mark's arm breaks out, and this scene is just crazy and it is hype and it can't help but make you want to jump in the air and go like, yeah! But now it's one arm versus one arm. He speed blitzes Conquest but gets caught in a nasty ass bear hug. The only way out that Mark could think of was to chomp a piece off of Conquest, forcing him to let go. You can tell this is Robert Kirkman's work because he's also the creator of The Walking Dead, and there he made Rick bite the throat off someone named Joe that was holding him in the exact same way. I recognize this work instantly. If you notice the connection, let me know in the comments. As Mark and Conquest are going at it in the background, we see the body of Adam Eve, who we thought died, erupt with a giant glowing power, completely restoring herself the way she did in her Adam Eve special. As Mark is pummeling Conquest, he notices this, but that split-second distraction was enough to allow Conquest to grab him by the throat, put his back on his knee, and slam him to the ground. And that's when he starts trauma dumping on Mark. He says all the other Viltrumites think he's unstable and that's why no one wants to be his friend. But he hits him with the take it to your grave and starts putting all of his force on his throat, shoving him through the ground. Like, bro, this is straight solid ground. You're breaking it with his throat. Right as Mark's about to faint, Adam Eve calls out to him, causing Conquest to look up at her, and in that split second she releases a beam that's so strong it burns the whole upper layer of his chest down to his thighs. This obviously enrages the beast as he vows to kill her correctly this time. Since Eve's alive, Mark actually has something to defend and decides to go all out and attack Conquest. Conquest catches Mark's punch in the palm of his hand, crushing it, saying he's still got nearly enough for him. Mark, enraged, goes, "Not enough. Not nearly enough," as his adrenaline kicks in and he starts, I kid you not, headbutting the life out of Conquest over and over again. He stops for a second, asking Conquest if he's still enjoying himself and having fun, and all this animal can say is, I take the good with the bad. Like, this guy truly came here just for the fade. Win or lose, he really doesn't care. He's straight dedicated to the Black Air Force energy. I don't think he really cares about anything else besides that fade for real. Mark continues to bash his head over and over and over again into Conquest's skull until he can't no more. Looking at the dead body in front of him, realizing there's no more life, collapses to the ground, finally ending the battle. All the heroes pull up to the scene of the aftermath, and in the end, my boy Mark gets some Adam Eve cheeks. Seems like a good ass day to me. That's all I got for the video. Hope y'all enjoyed. This was very fun to do. I've been waiting a few years for this episode, exactly this scene to be animated, and I'm not gonna lie, it was definitely worth the wait. I cannot wait for what they have coming in the future. I don't think anyone is ready for anything in the future coming up. All my comic readers know what's coming up. This is not the last time we see Conquest, and we all know that. If there's any other anime, show, movie that you guys would like to see, let me know and I'll get to it. I promise you I'll try to get to it because I have a lot in the notes in my iPhone ready. I promise you there's notes. Lists of things to get done. I promise you, they're gonna get done. Other than that, don't forget to like and subscribe, leave a comment, favorite part of the video, favorite part of the episode, and I'll see you in the next one.